In 2003, former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson filed for bankruptcy with $30 million in debt. During his career, he earned over $300 million. Most of our daily motivations are driven by a desire to acquire money. However, accumulating wealth is ineffective if the underlying issue is an inability to manage it. We can see this mismanagement in the current economy. Americans now hold the highest credit card debt in the country's history. This data shows that high income does not guarantee security. Even among workers earning over $100,000 a year, 1 in 10 are still living paycheck to paycheck. This financial vulnerability creates a specific desperation. It makes people susceptible to get-rich-quick schemes and gurus promising an easy escape from the anxiety of being broke. Earning six figures matters very little if you have nothing left to show for it by the end of the year. To fix the disconnect, we have to look at the framework of how money actually functions. Society often attaches a moral weight to wealth. We hear that money is the root of evil, leading to the assumption that a large bank account requires taking advantage of someone else. Money acts as a medium of exchange. It is a tool that represents the perceived value of goods or services traded between two parties. When you make a purchase on Amazon, you hand over cash because you believe the item is worth the price. The transaction is a simple trade of equivalent value. Because the broader market determines this price, the currency itself is neutral. It doesn't make a person good or bad. It simply represents a completed exchange of value. Having money opens more options and broadens your horizons. The morality lies in the choices you make with those options, not in the money itself. Internet personalities often claim that a 9-to-5 job is a trap. They villainize standard employment to sell books and programs, ignoring the fact that many people find stability or even passion in their careers. The cycle of being one paycheck away from broke creates a constant state of financial edge. This is a relationship where money enters your life and immediately disappears to fund a lifestyle you can barely afford. This relationship is defined by the balance between production and consumption. Production is the value you provide through labor, while consumption is the cost of the things you use, from your car to your Netflix subscription. The trap occurs when consumption expands to meet or exceed your production. This leaves no margin for error, making the loss of a job or a health emergency a total catastrophe. We often stay in this loop because of the ostrich effect, a tendency to avoid negative financial information. It's that feeling of refusing to look at a bank statement because you're afraid of what it will show. This avoidance is reinforced by social proof. We feel a biological pressure to keep up with the spending habits of those around us, measuring our self-worth by the material goods we can display. This cycle is a self-inflicted trap of endless consumption. It is driven by psychological biases and spending habits, rather than the specific job a person performs. To build wealth, the consumption side of the equation must be capped. Increasing your income is ineffective if your spending habits simply rise to meet the new figure. This requires tracking every expense and sticking to a budget that allows you to live below your means. Establishing an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses creates a protective barrier against the unexpected. Once consumption is controlled, you can focus on the offensive side, increasing production. While frugality provides stability, exponential wealth comes from providing more value to the market. This graph compares two types of production. A standard wage is linear. Scaled production builds systems that generate value independently. Scaling requires distributing a solution to the masses. The internet puts your product in front of thousands simultaneously. Stepping out of the cycle involves mastering both sides of this equation. By capping your consumption and leveraging new ways to produce value, you remove the financial edge that defines the race.